gentlemen, welcome to the Dylan Holy Experience, the first Dylan Holy Experience of 2023. This is your midweek market recap, also your first midweek market recap of 2023 as well. Let's take a look. Stock futures are flat as investors digest Fed minutes and look ahead to labor data. Stock futures are flat Wednesday night as investors looked beyond the hawkishness of the Federal Reserve's meeting minutes released in the afternoon toward labor data coming later this week. And you bet your sweet bucket we're going to be talking about those Fed minutes in just a moment. But let's continue on to see what's going on with the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 and yada, yada, yada. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 36 points, trading down around 0.1%. S&P 500 and NASDAQ futures both traded down as well at 0.1%. The move follows a choppy trading session where markets had been down early in the day on the back of a mixed bag of economic data, but stock rose into the closing bell. The Dow added the day up 133 points or 0.4%, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 added 0.8% and 0.7% respectively. November's job openings and labor turnover, or JOLTS report, showed the job market remained strong, bolstering concerns that the Fed could continue raising interest rates as long as there remained a hot market for workers. But the ISM Manufacturing Index showed the sector was contracting after 30 months of expansion, which investors saw as a positive indicator that previous rate hikes had the intended impact of cooling the economy. Stocks were mainly trading up in the afternoon, but gave up some of their gains following the release of the Fed's December meeting, which showed the central bank remains committed to higher interest rates for some time. Investors have fresh wounds that are following 2022's stock market return, which brought the worst year for the stock market since 2008, said Keith Buchanan, a portfolio manager at Globalt Investments. He said investors are attempting to balance what each new piece of economic data or Fed commentary can indicate with broader concerns about the future. Quote, every day that goes by and we get a data point that's moving in the right direction is positive, Buchanan said. But it's also quickly followed up with apprehension on how sensitive and delicate this moment is. Investors will watch Thursday for more data on jobs, the trade deficit, and business activity. Fed speakers Raphael Bostic and James Bullard are also slated to speak. On Friday, investors will review data on non-farm payrolls, the unemployment rate, and hourly wages, since the reports could have a big impact on the Fed's next moves. It has the potential to impact the market. It has the potential to, everything has the potential to impact the market. Like CME, hold on, we gotta roll it back here. They just said the report could have a big impact on the Fed's next moves, and it has the potential to impact the market. Yeah, I feel like this, nothing is ever really priced in until the actual event happens. So I don't know. We'll continue on. Investors don't want to see big gains in wage growth. All right. Well, let's take a look at these meeting minutes that seem to be so darn important for this midweek market recap thus far. Fed officials see higher rates for some time ahead. From Washington, D.C., Federal Reserve officials are committed to fighting inflation and expect higher interest rates to remain in place until more progress is made. Make me mod. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Let's see. So I think it's /mod the Thickie. Have you talked about the sixth failed vote for McCarthy? No, I haven't, but we can take a look at this. Okay, I think I did a /mod for you. I'll just actually join call. There we go. Okay, Adrian is in here now. Disaster. Bo's also in here. Legends. All right. You know what? Let's put a break on these Fed meeting minutes for a moment because the Thickie, one of our fellow mods, wants to take a look at the failed vote for McCarthy. Now, I did see some stuff on Twitter about it. I haven't done a super big deep dive on it. Also, they want me to join call. Sounds good. I'll be there. And I'm in call now.
I know a decent amount, Dylan. I know a decent amount.
Okay,
about the six failed.
Perfect. In terms of sources, do you want to take a look at FT? What's your preferred source of news, Adrian?
Al Jazeera, Politico, and Democracy Now.
Okay, let's just see. Let's take a look at Democracy Now. See what's going on with them.
Or The Independent. The Independent's really good for like written articles.
Okay, let's take a look. The Independent. Wait, hold up. Matt Gaetz twists knife.
Gaetz.
Oh my lord! Calling him a squatter? Oh lord! What the fuck is happening? What the?
He's the spoiler right now for the Republican Party. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm not." He's like, him and like 20 other Republicans are like, "Fuck you, McCarthy, I'm not voting for you."
Republican Kevin McCarthy fails again to be elected Speaker of the House of U.S. Representatives after losing 6 votes in a row. Oh my gosh, they're fucking making me fucking pay for this? Dude, what the fuck? I will not support bourgeois media. This will be enough. I think this is from Associated Press, so I think we'll live. Okay, GOP's McCarthy voted down after time for House Speaker. House Republicans flailed through a long second day of fruitless balloting Wednesday, unable to either elect Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker or come up with a new strategy to end the political chaos that has tarnished the start of their new majority. Yet McCarthy wasn't giving up. Even after the 4th, 5th, and 6th ballots produced no better outcome, and he was left to call off a nighttime session. That's rough, dude. Could you imagine being like so sure that you're going to be the Speaker of the House and you get voted down 6 different times?
He thinks he's the world.
He does. Dude, Kevin McCarthy thinks he's him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would rather it be him than anyone else.
Who was the other? Or who were some prospective?
Jeffries. Jeffries is another person. Hakeem Jeffries is the Democratic choice right now. He's looking. He'll be more than likely the minority leader.
Okay.
Other than that, I think like literally no one else. Like they voted for Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan was like, I don't want House Speaker.
Do you think how do you feel about like a Dan Crenshaw as Speaker?
Dan Crenshaw.
You know, I have some comments about his eyes.
Okay. Dude, Adrian, he's so far Black Lives Matter, he actually turned a blind eye to racism, which is a good thing.
It's so funny.
Poor guy.
Like, I feel like he feels just so out of place in the Republican Party. It's funny.
Dan Crenshaw?
Yeah.
Why is that?
He just gives off like theater kid liberal vibes.
Oh shit, that's good. Popular. We'll just do like House Republicans. And we can
We
just
have to
take
remember,
a list.
Dylan, you do have to remember that they have a slim majority, right? They have a slim majority in the House.
That's fair, but
that is why like a lot of this is up right now. And the thing is, McCarthy is a California Republican. So like, he's not even that.
He was already like relatively moderate.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was already relatively moderate.
He was like chosen by like Nancy Pelosi.
What a beautiful man. I don't know. Like
this is Dylan. This is because of the Freedom Caucus. They're literally saying we'll only vote for McCarthy if he's going to shut the government down.
That's rough. Do you know how the January 6th shit's been going?
The trial?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That stuff is
Speaking of January 6th, I guess now this can be a good little time to plug what's happening next week. So, our socialist icon friend Adrian, who's in call right now for all the millions listening, he's going to be coming up to where we are in California on January 6th, and then the following Wednesday. So I guess I can give them an actual date. Wednesday, January 11th, we're going to be doing an IRL Dylan Holy Experience midweek market recap. So everyone tune in.
Face cam and all?
I think it'll be face cam. I'll have to end up doing it on my phone, but I think I can do face cam. I'll attempt to make it face cam, and if it's not face cam, then I'll clearly.
I'm sure that there's like an easy way to.
There is. There's a program.
Bridge the gap from your phone to.
Okay.
There is. There's a program called IVCam, which is just uses your phone. You download the app on your phone. You connect it. You connect your phone to your computer, and then it just uses your phone's camera.
Okay, I see. Let's see. I just want to see if this is actually an invigorating day for America, said Representative Byron Donalds. There's a lot of members in the chamber who want us to have serious conversations about how we can bring this all to a close and elect a speaker. Adrian, who do you think is going to be the next speaker?
It'll probably end up being McCarthy. I think they're
What a
eventually
legend.
gonna break. I think they'll break down because they're gonna make. I think they'll make concessions, because I think the concessions that at least I know Gates is asking for. He wants to be chairman of the subcommittee for the Hunter Biden investigation.
Okay.
But McCarthy has said that he is not going to make. He's not going to try to make deals for votes.
Fair.
He's not going to try to
Okay.
make for committee seats.
Okay.
Because this is like you have to like this is like it's been a long while since this happened. Like usually this is seen as kind of like decorum, just like day of like not often do we have vote on the speaker for this long. I think the last time it was like 100 days. They did this shit for like almost over 100 days.
Wow. That's
So-
crazy.
But like I don't know. This is something for the Republicans to sort out. This is internal struggles within their party. I don't think the Democrats should bail them out. I think it'll be horrible if they literally go like guys, let's get this shit moving, and like some of the Democrats end up voting for McCarthy.
No, I think from a Democratic and DNC strategic standpoint, having them just let this shit just fetter and just like bubble and completely tear apart the Republican Party. Like, I'm sure that's what the GOP would do.
Cool. No, they would. Remember back when the Republican Party was very obstructionist. That's like their main goal. Remember the famous quote from Mitch McConnell? His goal is to make Obama a one-term president and obstruct anything that he does.
Dude, he's really dude. What a fucking guy.
That's why we don't have health care.
Shout out to Mitch McConnell for making me have to federally deduct part of my paycheck for healthcare. No, it's hey man, that's the game. I pay for that good private shit, so I'm not.
I don't pay anything for my health care.
I'm not pressed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
don't make enough money.
I want to run it back to
We live in
the
California.
to something that I'm sure Adrian and Bo find absolutely fascinating, and that's Fed meeting minutes, right, guys? Isn't that just fantastic?
for sure.
Dylan, that's what I my last semester when I was a research assistant for my professor, that's what I had to do. I had to sit there and read through Congress meeting minutes, like 100-page documents, and I'm just scanning through them.
Poggers, then this is going to be perfect. At a meeting where policymakers raised their key interest rate another 0.5 percentage point, they expressed the importance of keeping restrictive policy in place while inflation holds unacceptably high. Participants generally observed that a restrictive policy stance would need to be maintained until the incoming data provided confidence that inflation was on a sustained downward path back to 2%, which was likely to take some time. In a view of the persistent and unacceptably high level of inflation, several participants commented that historical experience cautioned against prematurely loosening monetary policy. Adrian, do you just from do you think that the concept of being in a recession is okay? Like being in a contraction period for the economy is okay?
I think it's fine. I just think I just don't know if I'd say yeah, just because we don't have the language to describe otherwise. I think that whatever the concept, the term you used right now, a contraction period.
Yeah.
I think is probably a better period because I think people highly associate, like when you say recession, the first thing they think of is 2008 housing crisis. Literally, like everyone loses their jobs. We're all poor again.
Yeah.
And like that's not really happening. We're just having like our growth is declined right now.
That's fair. Well,
and that's expected because the same thing happened in the 80s. This is we're having the same thing that happened in the 80s where we're in a period of contraction and we need to find a new way to stimulate our economy. And I think
World
it's probably
War III.
yeah, man, just go to war and just fucking
steal everything.
Dude, get the oil pumping.
Allegedly. Allegedly steal everything. I don't want that on my record.
Dude, get the oil drilling. Get the gold mine.
We have to go deliver democracy.
Dude, no, dude. Like, we are here to drop freedom bombs all over the Middle East. That's what it's about.
Just like the Navi people, just like for the Navi.
It's for the benefit of the world. If we're realistically speaking, right? It's for the benefit of the world.
Yeah, no, like.
God, why does this unironically sound like my foreign policy class?
Shout out, dude.
I'm in a
no,
foreign
no,
policy
dude,
class
dude,
full of
because
progressives, and they're
America
straight
is
up being
the most
and they're
moral
straight
country
being
on planet Earth.
Dylan, no, unironically, in my foreign policy class, this is a class full of like pretty progressive people, and like, but like the minute we start talking about China, those are fools. Or the minute like, no, we need to go to war right now. And I'm like, dog, hold up.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
do you realize what happens when we go to war?
Yeah, especially against like a global like a real war against a real global superpower.
Yeah,
Russia.
Nah, Russia's dog. Russia's an L.
No, Russia. I mean,
China.
Russia. The only reason Russia is still like significant is because they were a superpower in the Cold War, and they have like a bunch of resources that like. That we still kind of need. Like they just have a shit ton of
like
petroleum,
don't they have a bunch of mine stuff?
They have oil.
Oh, well, they have a bunch of petroleum deposits, and they have like a lot of it's like copper and and nickel, and I think they have some rare earth deposits too. Like they are a very resource rich country. It's just they just kind of fell off after the Cold War.
They fell over the Cold War because they like
thought they were the world, and now they're not.
There's a lot of weird policies. Like we're researching, like not researching. This is from when I did my comparative politics. They have a big problem with population bleed. They're
like people just leaving.
Mm-hmm. That's it. They just like because they don't stop anybody or anything. This literally like they have the biggest problem is their youth basically gets their college degree and leaves.
Wow.
And that's it. And then their population is like very old. Is starting to get old.
Yeah, I wonder what's like the median age in Russia.
You know, it'd be fun is going to South Korea.
I'd be down. I want to go see the military junta there.
Okay. Okay, so the median age in Russia is 39.6 years. What's the US median? I'm pretty sure it's pretty close. Is this like median age? US median age. 38.1. Okay, so we're like not that far behind them.
Yeah.
But
wait, what's Russia's median age?
39.6.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and ours is 31.8. So
Joe Bush.
Oh my god. God, remember when he was actually looking like to be the Republican nominee?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Oh my god, I withhoarded just in time.
Here's what's even more interesting, Adrian. If you take a look, I mean, just going off of the first Google source that I found, so the baby boomer population in the United States is 21.16% of our population makeup in 2021. So 21.16%. If you take a look at the Russian percentage of population. Sorry, I just had this pulled up. Percentage of population over 65%. So the people who live in Russia who are over the age of 65, they make up 15.6% of the population. So we're actually like an older population compared to Russia.
Dang. I wonder how the wars affected that.
That's fair. Let's see.
Oh, sorry.
COVID?
In Russia, it's not a war; it's a special operation.
Oh yeah, that's fair. They're just making shit happen. Anyway, I want to run it back to these meeting minutes here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, take it back.
The increase ended a streak of 4 consecutive 3/4 point rate hikes while taking the target range for the benchmark Fed funds rate to 4.25% to 4.5%, its highest level in 15 years, actually just before 2008. So this was the highest it's been since 2007. And we all know what happened in 2008 into 2009. Officials said also they would focus on data as they moved forward and see the, quote, need to retain flexibility and optionality regarding policy. I think that's a generally good idea. A number of participants emphasized that it would be important to clearly communicate that a slowing in the pace of rate increases was not an indication of any weakening of the committee's resolve to achieve its price stability goal or a judgment that inflation was already on a persistent downward path. Basically, what they're saying is head fakes. I don't know if you're familiar with head fakes, but basically, like, if I guess like we can take a look at it from like a market.
I've never
standpoint.
heard that term.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if you're being.
No, I never heard head fakes.
Oh, okay. So basically, like, let's say, the goal of raising interest rates is to bring down inflation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what a head fake is basically, let's say they raise interest rates and then the following month the interest rates or the inflation rate, let's say, drops like 1%, and everyone thinks like, oh, the inflation rate's going down because we bumped interest rates. But let's say the following month after that 1 month drop, there ends up being like a 2% gain. And then like the inflation rate is now higher than where it was before. So a head fake is basically like seeing something and after 1 month just basically being like, okay, everything's solved. So they want to see like a sustained, like over like 6 to 8 months, if not a year of
Okay.
yeah. So it's basically like seeing something and then preemptively calling it, but that thing ends up just like, it's just like,
so just like typical econ things.
yeah, it's just like a minor move and then interpreting that as like a macro move. So it's kind of like that.
Oh yeah.
Markets currently are pricing in the likelihood of rate increases totaling 0.5% to 0.75% before pausing to evaluate the impact the hikes are having on the economy. Traders expect the central bank to approve a 0.25 point increase at the next meeting, which concludes February 1st, according to the CME Group data. That's basically the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's basically just like them trading futures on like if they're gonna end up bumping interest rates or not. Bro, capitalism's crazy. Like they trade paper contracts on just like, is this person gonna make a decision? It's fucking it's wild. Anyway, I think they're probably, they've said that they're okay with bringing interest rates up another % by the end of 2023. So I definitely think a 0.25 point increase is probably going to come, and I welcome it. I think having higher interest rates, they need to slow this shit down. Adrian, do you want to know what they called the time period from 2020 to basically 2022 in the markets?
What?
They call it the everything bubble. So I think we need to maybe ease the gas and probably put some more foot on the brake pedal just to like slow shit down.
Slowly push the clutch in.
Yeah, and I've never driven stick, so I don't know.
You typically like would put the clutch in and brake at the same time.
Oh, okay.
That's the brake. You lower the clutch and then you let off the clutch and ease onto the gas when you're starting.
I see. Oh, okay.
Dylan learning about cars.
Yeah, dude, I'm learning about cars and learning about.
Too bad you'll never own one again. We're moving to public transit, bitch.
This is the future Nancy Pelosi wants.
This is the future liberals want.
Let's see. Can we do a deep dive on the Oakland public transit system right now?
I remember when I was in San Francisco. I remember
Oakland.
I remember when I was in San Francisco and I had to go to a Christmas party that was in Oakland. I remember they had like a free option. There was like a free bus.
Oh wow!
There was like a bus that you could pay. There was like the bus like the standard city, and then they also had a free version as well. But it was, like,
how do you feel
limited.
about Hale Zukas?
What's that?
This guy?
Who is he? What's he done?
I think he was a trailblazer for people with disabilities.
He's a what?
I think he was a trailblazer for people with disabilities.
That's cool.
Yeah. Generally based.
Yeah. I was just asking what he's done because it's like, he could be some random dickhead.
I don't know. Hold on, let me see. He knew. Wait. Okay, let's see. Okay, so
he nuked us all.
He did nuke us all. He was an accessibility advisory committee member So I think with him, I mean he was handicapped, so like I think him being handicapped, he probably had a decent a decently different viewpoint on public transit. Hale knew better than most that public transit is more than buses and trains, maintaining schedules and frequency. He knew that transit was a gateway to independence, a rolling lifeline, particularly for riders with disabilities, and engaged AC Transit and other transit systems to reform how we deliver service to disabled riders, often marginalized and often too sidelined. That's gotta base. I mean, I can't. There's no argument.
No,
I can.
it is.
Yeah, there's like
Public transit.
there
Public
is-
transit literally is like, I think would solve a lot of America's problems.
I think most people would probably be better served by public or either having a more robust public transit system. I can definitely get behind that. I like having a car personally. I like driving in a car, but I think people who otherwise cannot drive cars, I think making public transit.
There's also
I agree with you,
there's
Dylan.
there's more freedom to owning a personal vehicle than having public transit. I feel like
that's I
It's a-
can agree with that.
I can attest to you. I'll tell you. I personally think it's the other way because it's like when you're driving, let's say you have to go, so you want to go to the grocery store. That's like 15, 20 minutes. If you're
Mhm.
lucky, sometimes it can be farther. So you're spending between 15 to probably 30-ish minutes just getting there. And that's time you're driving. You can't be doing anything else. And same going back and forth. If there's traffic, things get worse. Also, what do you do when you're not 16? When you don't have a license, you have to rely on other people. And basically until you're 16, you can't do shit on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have the illusion that it gives us like freedom because at any moment we can get up and go somewhere. But if you look at like other countries around the world, their public transit is incredibly like we have dog shit transit here. Like if you go to the
Yeah,
UK,
that's because that's not our primary focus. Public transit, like that's
yeah.
because everybody relies on cars.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like I want to do like you can't just do public transit. You have to do it with comprehensive like city planning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big problem is our zoning laws. We have things that are literally locked to certain areas. Like you can only build shops here. You can only build houses here. You can only build apartments in this area, and that's why things are so blocked off and isolated. Versus when you can when anywhere from your house, you're 15-minute walk away from the grocery store, the gym, your school, like basically everything that you need your day-to-day life, you are within a 15-minute walk from.
Right, and I
think that stuff gives you freedom because that gives you more time in the day to do things that you actually want to do than versus like having to do your chores.
Okay, I guess I can agree, but I think what Bo was saying was like owning a vehicle, like your own car, like buses and public transit. It's good that they like can take people from like where they currently live to another place and then back to their home. I think that's a generally good thing, and I think having comprehensive like a robust public transit system would be good. And I don't think anyone argues against that. But I also think like at the end of the day, you having your own vehicle will always you will always have more driving freedom or just freedom to like basically transport yourself anywhere you want
I feel like it's
compared to
beneficial
like
for the
having a public
economy.
transit.
I think it's beneficial for the economy because
Maybe,
we pay gas.
right, but
like,
but
to-
but the idea of having public transit is to cut down on CO2 emissions.
Yeah, that's and I understand that, but I'm just saying like it's a benefit for the economy as much as
I don't even look at it like that.
it is a hindrance to like pollution and all of that. Like and
Maybe,
I-
but
I like it for
but
the mental health. I like it for the mental health aspects.
driving.
No. Public transit. I think that I like that stuff more than like the CO2 stuff.
what
I think is
mental-
good.
What mental health aspects?
I think in America we have a big isolation problem.
That
Like
yeah.
I think we have a big isolation problem where it's like you live in your little suburb and you don't leave your suburb.
I also think
And I think
that
like
has to do with like we promote a lot of like major cities when in like industries like entertainment and stuff like that. We promote a lot of major cities, and we don't like reflect on like how wide and open America is, and how beautiful we can like
When I'm saying
other smaller cities can industrialize and grow and shit like that.
I can agree with you on that. I don't think, like, when I'm talking about isolation, I'm talking about like you go to your school and you come home, and then like, or you go to school and come home, or you go to your work and come home, and it's like nothing's like we don't really have like community. Best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have like
Sure.
community. Yeah, we don't have like community where it's like you can walk down to your local pub and you know like half the people there because it's always the same. It's always the same people because they're within like a short walk. Same with like like church used to be kind of like that. It used to be kind of like your community because it was close to you. Everyone would go. And you knew everyone around you there. And I think right now as we have just isolation where we don't have very many common places because we're slowly killing out our small businesses and just opening up and we keep like the big places.
Chains.
Yeah, we're moving to chains and
chains.
chains don't. Yeah, and we're moving towards chains and that stuff just doesn't create community in the same way a local
I mean,
your
I think
local pub does or something like that.
I think even like I think at the bottom line, having a better public transit system is it's just better for people.
Oh,
Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like I think the sociological impacts of it will probably be better. I think the psychological impacts of it will probably be better. I think overall, like you know, it'll cut down on CO2 emissions. It'll probably not be great for like the petroleum economy, but oh man, I just feel horrible for Exxon and Chevron that's just going to cut into their profits.
Man.
Note, I am an active shareholder of both Exxon and Chevron, and I collect a fancy schmancy 3% dividend. Anyway, but no, I think just looking past all of that, just having like accessible public transit for people is probably just better. Like for marginalized people who otherwise would be able to drive, like my homeboy Haley.
I was gonna say, I think country that does like their transits pretty well is like Japan. I think Japan does a great job because like it's not like you don't see people with cars there. There's still a comprehensive car culture and everything.
Definitely.
It just becomes a thing where it's like even in San Francisco, a lot of the people I knew up there who like were from the Bay Area, like from San Francisco City or something, most of the time their family owned they had a family car. Most families all owned a car, but it was just like the family car. It wasn't like mom has a car, dad has a car, the kid has a car, and both kids have a car.
Well, the only reason like I think America is probably the most like hyper car culture in the world. Like we are like we've basically been like fuck public transit. We are a car and automobile based economy and society. And to run it all the way back, the only reason that happened was because automobile corporations in the early 1900s and then like into the 1920s, they like fucking
lobbied.
They lobbied and they were like, hey, yeah, just like build highways, and then like motels popped up, and then like in the 40s shit kind of started popping, and then after World War II, that's when they created all the Levitt towns and all the suburbs and all that fun stuff. And then Eisenhower made the first intercontinental highway, and it's fucking game over from there. And like now we're just a hypercar based economy. Like this, Adrian, this shit really kind of ruined everything for America, didn't it?
White flight.
Dude, Levitt towns, bro. Dude, suburbs, dude, basically all the shitty stuff is kind of started from suburbs. Like just cramming people. Yeah, anyway.
You know what Texas is doing? That's why I praise is Austin right now. Austin deregulated their zoning laws.
And just made it so people can just like kind of build whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, like they're Austin's starting to look like different and stuff because of that. I think I saw something the other day. It was about like the type of land, the amount of land you have to build stuff. So like creates this like system where it was like what created front yards basically.
Okay.
Like the laws regarding like space with a house and stuff made it to like everyone had a lawn and stuff. But like Austin is doing it now where you can basically like no, I'm gonna use every square inch of the land, and I'm gonna use this tiny piece of land to build like a condo right here. that's like smushed between two houses. But like
Based-
I think that, but I'm like that's based. That means I'm
Yeah,
like that's
that's it.
different. How I'm like that's more housing.
No, like they really need to deregulate like most development shit. Like, dude, it costs like just to get all the permits to build like a house is like $250,000. That's absurd.
It's just it's always gonna be a hard thing as long as we view in America. It's always gonna be hard to deregulate housing as long as in America we view housing as a commodity and not like a place to live.
That's fair, but I think deregulating housing, well, no, it would actually work to the detriment of it. Because I was gonna say like it makes more people want to build shit, but also through that, like
You build apartments next to houses, which lowers prices.
Yeah, it gets rid of like it gets rid of like any like real profit incentive of like making an investment. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think there should probably be like it should definitely be less expensive, but they're not gonna do that because it's money.
When's Marxist Biden gonna take over?
Dude, when are we gonna get the fucking Biden communes? A Bidenist commune.
The Bidenist communes.
Oh, there we go. Anti-malarkey, bro. Oh wait, no, that's a.
Have you seen them?
thing.
Wait, no. Look up Mao Biden.
Oh, yeah. I've seen Mao Biden, bro. No
Mao
question.
Biden?
Yeah, Mao Biden. China Joe.
Oh, Mao. I thought you said MAL. Yeah,
Mao
I've seen that picture.
Biden.
I thought you said Mao like Stan's friend. I was like, oh.
Oh my god, dude, Xi Jinping, he's just isn't he breedable, Adrian? Isn't Xi Jinping breedable?
He's such a nice little Winnie the Pooh looking man.
I know. He's so cute. He's just so cute. You can play
Adrian,
with
would
his
you
little
love to
cheeks.
live in China?
I'd proudly be a white monkey in China. Yeah, I'd proudly be a white monkey because then the rest
No. Are you familiar with white monkeys, Bo?
No.
Okay, so white monkey, it's basic. Oh, so in like Asian culture, specifically like in China, a white monkey is basically the phenomenon of a white foreigner basically being there and engaging in their cultures and stuff like that, and like it's not a phenomenon for anything past the fact they are white. Like they
it's like being a weeb. It's like being a weeb that moves to Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like white, but like they're
sense.
like extremely popular. Like you can make the argument that John Cena is turning into a bit of a white monkey.
Yeah,
John
he
Cena?
he definitely was.
Bart Baker is definitely a white monkey.
Oh, Bart Baker's 100%.
They live in China?
Yeah, Bart Baker lives in China. I still think John Cena lives in Florida, but like
Bart Baker makes videos in
Hold on.
China. Like he's like a
Can we
content
find
creator there.
his? Yeah, okay. So Chinese TikTok, which is actually owned by the same people, is called Douyin. Can we fucking? I want to take a look at some. Am I gonna get copyright? Wait. Okay.
You should go on incognito.
Dylan, you know,
Should I?
One thing, Dylan, you know, it's actually incredibly based that China did.
I mean, I'm gonna get spied on either way.
Dylan, do you ever think about this? That
I don't know,
that it's TikTok's so much more regulated in China.
Yeah, no, like
that's incredibly based. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
no, like what have you seen the algorithm that they do in
Yeah,
China? Like they
it promotes,
only
like,
show
groups.
them. Yeah, they like only show them like long content, no fucking jumps, just people doing like productive shit. And then here it's just like fucking dancing and not to sound like a boomer, but like
Cringe.
general
That's good.
degeneracy. I don't know, I don't know. But hold on,
I think they do like a hell of it.
我们都是音乐人，不仅配他，音乐不说。
Like TikTok is like you get like 3 hours a day. That's it. And it'll walk you out after 3 hours.
You see this?
That's why they don't have. That's why they're doing so well. They don't have brain rot like we
That
have.
guy's voice is amazing. But check this style out.
But that's the best part of America is the brain rot.
Yeah, I heard this thing is like a comparison. There's two methods of control. You have the American where you have the illusion of like 21 options in the store, or you just have like authoritarian where as long as you follow the line, you'll have a good life. And that's basically what we have right now. We have the illusion. China has the authoritarian.
Yeah, I mean, like our view of us just like being like, I mean, at least from like an international and diplomatic level, like us just being so much more moral than China. That's just American propaganda. Like I think domestically we definitely have a better setup than China. Like I think having free
Sure.
media is just better than not having free media. But
Yeah.
like we're from like a diplomacy standpoint, we're probably even more like destructive and dangerous than China.
I know. I think I've had this exact debate with a couple of guys in my in ASI with me because we were talking about that, and I was saying like, I'm like, at least like China isn't just like rolling into a country, man. Like, you know what? This is our shit. We're taking over. They
Yeah,
at least go in there and they're like, hey, we're gonna make a deal with you guys.
yeah,
And as I'm like, I think that's why the Belt and Road Initiative has been so successful for them. Is like
Boats and hoes. Sorry.
boats and hoes.
there's a lot of the African countries have been like scarred by America, and they're like scared to work again with them in that way. And China's like being like open, and it's like I know the Sri Lanka thing, but other than that, they've shown they're like they'll renegotiate their terms and shit.
Yeah. I want to I want to take a look at the savings rate for consumers in America. So if you take a look at like people got a shit ton of money in COVID. Like they printed a shit ton of money. So
Oh,
much
yeah.
money. They like like an unfathomable amount of money they printed during
Yeah.
COVID. And it reached a point where like most US households, if you combined them all and saw how much they had in savings, they were sitting at $2.1 trillion. And they are now sitting at less than 1 trillion. So it's sitting at about $900 billion right now. Obviously, I think inflation is probably the biggest factor into people having less savings. Adrian and Bo, do you guys think there's like anything else possibly at play with people having less money in savings than they did like a year or two before, or do you think it's strictly inflation?
Probably just inflation. It's
Okay.
probably inflation, but also I think a lot of people like with the crypto market.
Yeah, that's fair too.
I'm gonna say a lot of like normie people who are just like, you know, I'll throw like I'll throw a part of my savings into crypto. Like it seems like everyone's winning right now. Like why the fuck not?
Yeah.
And then like
I think too, especially with the whole FTX fallout, you know, I think a lot
Yeah.
of like normie crypto people were like, oh, FTX sounds like one of the more legit. Like I hear them everywhere.
Tom
They put
Brady's
their money
talking
in
about
there,
him.
and they were just like, yank.
Sam Bankman fraud.
Scam, bank run, fraud, dude. No
Imagine being in
question.
my fire team and not rizzing me.
Pissed. He's pissed.
Yikes.
there's-
Yikes.
There.
But I think
Oh,
I
sorry.
never asked you this, Dylan. Did you ever when it came to like COVID relief, were you ever like for that, or do you think we should have just like let the economy crash during COVID and just like sucked it up then and then tried to build back after?
Yeah, I think this is always something that I understand both parts of it, and I understand
Yeah.
both sides of it. And I think they are equally fair. I've always been someone I don't like, not to sound like a fucking boomer, but I'm not the biggest fan of inflation.
Of course.
But I think what we did during COVID was the most aggressive form of like inflation or of monetary inflation that we had ever seen. Like they printed $7 trillion in basically a month. Like there was a point where between August of 2019 and COVID, so that point, so like 9 months, they had printed, I believe, 1/3 of all of the United States dollars in existence within that 9-month span. And I think
third, holy
an entire third, yeah. So like 1 in 3 US dollars that people had in
Wow.
COVID were not there like a year ago.
Yeah,
And
that's
And I think
absurd.
I generally think let shit melt down. You know, like
Let shit melt down.
because what happens with that is people don't like the idea of having a stock market crash because it has a negative connotation to it. You lose money, right? Like no one likes losing money, and that's their connotation to it. But all that you do is when you see like black swan events and like shit where the entire economy crashes or whatever, by printing money, you only kick the can further of having like a market downfall, and like it's only going to exacerbate it and make it worse.
Okay.
So I think I understand from a philosophical standpoint, like why they printed money to like bail out businesses and give people SBA loans and pledge protection loans and COVID relief and COVID stimulus and child tax credits and yeah. But I think from a monetary standpoint, I think from a philosophical standpoint, that's aight. But I think from a monetary standpoint, I don't like what that did to the U.S. monetary supply. And in terms of like our currency devaluation, I don't like, I'm just not for that. I'm not for that form of like, I don't like fiat currencies. I want shit to be backed by something. And like, it all stems back from the fact that like, they could just magically print it out of thin
Why is
air.
it called a fiat currency?
Fiat, because it's basically, so fiat currency, off the top of my head, fiat.
It used to be on the gold standard, and then we switched to the
Yeah,
fiat currency.
but the
It's backed
actual
by debt.
well, yeah, and so let's see. I know there's an exact reason they chose the word fiat.
The company?
No, like fiat money. I'd like why they chose the word fiat for fiat currency. But it's basically it's basically a type of currency that like it's basically backed by nothing. Like it's only backed by a country's perceived strength. So I like people basically say, and like I can generally agree with them that the US dollar right now is basically backed by the US military. It's backed by our military strength. It's backed by like how much power people think we hold, as opposed to like if the US dollar was on a gold standard, or even, and people have laughed at me when I said this, but on like a Bitcoin standard, like it's backed by the amount of like gold that you have, or backed by the amount of, Bitcoin or something, or whatever piece or commodity or asset that is backed by that currency. It's based off of that. So, I think
crypto was based off confidence.
Crypto is based off of confidence.
Oh.
But the other thing too is if you have like the US dollar can be backed by something that is backed by confidence. Like gold is backed by confidence. Like gold is like the only reason we find gold valuable. I mean, like we use it like sparse amounts of it in fucking phones and stuff like that, and people say like, oh well, that's a real use for gold. No, dude, gold. People only use like if you have a fucking iPhone. I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm pretty sure maybe like at most like 1% of the phone is made by gold.
What about jewelry?
Well, sure, like you can throw jewelry in there too, but the reason people like want gold in their jewelry is because it has a perceived value. Like nothing, like the only reason things are valuable is because we ascribe value to them. So like, so we can back the US dollar. Like if everyone in America, or 50% plus one people think that something is valuable, obviously this is like a gross simplification of, I'm sure, having to like reback a currency is possible. But if a majority of people find something valuable and want that to back the currency, I'm sure they possibly could. And I don't think the US dollar is ever going back onto like a
standard.
hard. Yeah, I don't think it's ever going back onto a standard, because like the thing with fiat is once you take it off of a standard, like a gold standard or a silver standard, for instance, you can't go back on it, because what fiat, the whole purpose of fiat is to just like, at the end of the day, print as much money as possible and make everyone as rich as possible until and then go buy other stuff.
Money theory. Is that monetary money theory?
Generally, I mean, like this, like I mean, it's Keynesian economics. So basically, like printing money and then using that to like stimulate the economy. Like giving it out to people via or giving it out to banks to loan it out for mortgages. Give it directly to small business owners via SBA loans, student loans, shit like that. So yes, and then those investments obviously will also start paying dividends. People make the argument, you give the student, you give the bank the money to be able to loan out to people on student loans. The people pay the student, or the students pay the student loans. and the bank makes interest, and then the actual government makes money from that, because now the people that are college educated, they at least historically speaking, get higher paying jobs. Now the government can take a 20% tax from them.
That's not.
So
Oh, give me a second.
so it's that kind of argument. Speaking of college educated employers and employees, this is actually I mean, this kind of sucks. Actually, it doesn't kind of suck. It just does suck. Salesforce is cutting 10% of its personnel, more than 7,000 employees. This comes from a broader swath of general information technology company layoffs. DoorDash had laid off like over 1,000 employees. What's up?
So with this, because during COVID, I know there was a job shortage, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean that too many people like got hired for jobs, and now the company's making less money with the amount of like companies are making less money with the amount of employees that they have, so paying them more, like you have to lay them off?
Yeah,
Like,
generally yes. So
okay.
Most tech companies are very bloated right now.
Oh, for sure.
They are extremely bloated, and even now at this point, they're still generally overvalued. And how these tech companies were making money, and how they were cash flowing, because this model of tech company basically was popularized off of Uber. And it's not like, Salesforce is not a drive.
What's it called? Loss leader? Is that what it's called?
Yes. So loss leaders are basically like a specific part of the company that loses money but brings in a bunch of eyeballs and people that are willing to spend in other parts of the company. But what this is, it's basically what they would do, and this is what Uber did. So Travis Kalanick, the CEO of Uber, or former CEO of Uber, I think he did some shit. Now he's like a GOP donor. Anyway, he's no longer the CEO of Uber, but basically the founder of Uber. He said that what Uber needed was they needed like a $100 million investment up front. So they needed people to give them money up front, and they were going to lose like millions, if not billions of dollars for the first like 10 years. But then they were going to start making money over time. So how this was fueled was through a low interest rate environment where like the US government could just print money and loan it to banks. And then those banks could give it to venture capitalists and venture investors. And then either the banks or the venture investors can give money to these prospective companies that aren't turning a profit yet, but their models show that they're going to make 10% year over year profit at year 10 and stuff like that. So this was all funded by low interest rates environments, because they kept getting cash infusions. So these companies are bleeding out billions and billions of dollars, but they're also getting billions of dollars loaned to them. And then they add on a bunch of these people onto their payroll. And once you go on a hiring spree, and there's this idea of like demand for your products and services to be made, they just hire on a shit ton of people. They give them all stock. And then when you bump interest rates and start raising them again, and you lock up the credit and the credit markets for people to be able to get money, these companies no longer have people who are willing to invest into them, because one, people have no money to invest in the stock market. You have no money from the actual lending corporations that are actively funding this. And for most of these companies, some of them are turning profits, but most of these companies are still bleeding billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like, they are just hemorrhaging money. So now you have, I think in the case of Salesforce, they have over 79,000 people working on a cloud services company. And obviously, like, I'm not running Salesforce, so I don't know what's necessarily, a well-staffed Salesforce. But I think, like, if you look at, so there's something called the price earnings ratio, which is basically how much a company is said they're worth divided by how much they're actually earning. So if you look at the Salesforce price earnings ratio, this is all based off of stock. The Salesforce price to earnings ratio, this is absurd. This is a company that is on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, one of the largest companies in the S&P 500. Basically, like, the two major indexes that like people have trillions and trillions of dollars invested into with their retirement accounts, stuff like that. Their price earnings ratio, for every $1 of profit, that Salesforce makes, people are willing to buy it for $536.88. Just for comparison, even if you look at Coca-Cola's price earnings ratio, albeit it's still a little overvalued, but if you look at Coca-Cola stock, their price earnings ratio is like 27. So this company, Salesforce, is based at, just compared to Coca-Cola, is like 25 times, like 20 times more overvalued than Coca-Cola. So there is still a significant amount of bloat on these companies, and I really don't see these layoffs really stopping for a lot of these tech companies.
Oh yeah,
which is brutal. You know, it fucking sucks.
It sucks, but I mean, like, it sucks
at Home Depot.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for the people, but we have to eventually do this just because we've known that these companies have been bloated and overvalued for a long ass time now.
Oh yeah,
it was only a matter of time. Like, there's no like, Tesla is the perfect example of it correcting itself right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was overvalued for the longest time because it was viewed as a tech company, but now as more car companies are starting to get into the EV space, their value is starting to drop.
Dude, people are saying that Tesla was going to be worth, or like they were saying that Elon Musk could be the first trillionaire, which means that Tesla would have to go like to a $10 trillion market capitalization. Like even at the peak of Apple's market cap, it would have to be 3 times larger than Apple. That's absurd.
Yikes.
That is absurd.
Yikes. And
that's crazy.
Tesla makes most of their money selling carbon credits.
Right. Well, and here's what's also crazy. So only 3% of I actually, let's see what because this has been changing since more companies have started making EVs, but let's see Tesla, it's Tesla carbon
credit.
No. So it's percentage of cars that are EV, and then percentage of EVs that are Teslas. Okay. Not carts.
Carts.
Carts. I want that electric cart.
That are
Cart night. I want that cart night.
Okay, so 6% of all cars sold in the United States were considered EVs. This was in 2022. So 6% of them, of cars, 6%. Then of that, so Tesla, what is this? Let me see. Market share of new EVs. Okay, and then Tesla's market share of new registered EVs in the United States, and this is the third quarter of last year, so call it like October. In October, wait, no. Call it like August. Call it August. Stood at 65%. So it is down from 71%. So it was at 71 now. So they dropped 6%, but 65% of all of the EVs that were purchased in the United States were Teslas. And then if you want to get real scientific, we can multiply 65% times 6%. So basically, just under 4% of all cars driving on the road are Teslas. Just under 4% of them. 3.9% if you want to get exact. 3.9%. Tesla at one point was worth double all of the other car brands combined. Like Tesla was worth double every other car company on planet Earth combined in market capitalization. So
That's
there was
insane.
So Tesla's come down. Tesla's come down from there. But yeah, there's just a significant amount of blow. So it's a shame seeing people get laid off. But again, like this is a contraction period for the economy. We've come out of the everything bubble. Shit can't. Sorry, y'all. I guess this is a rude awakening that shit just can't go up forever. It's brutal, man.
The line has Dylan. I don't know, Dylan. I don't know, Betty. I think we can I think growth isn't. I think we have to continue growing.
No, dude. Growth is the only option.
I know.
Growth is the only option.
It's so funny when people unironically believe that, like, if you're not growing, actually dog shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's and that's when shit starts to get bad. Like when we see a market crisis where, or like a contraction period where you know, stuff starts to contract, people lose jobs, and you know, media net worth goes down, stock market goes down, stuff like that. People's equity in their homes go down. It's not ideal to have, like, no one likes having less money, but from like a natural standpoint, like, you have to have contraction periods, and people, they don't want contraction periods. So what do? They incur, or they basically print even more money, and they get people further levered up, where, like, you know, maybe they save it in the short term. Maybe they actually, you know, and the short term being like multiple years, if not decades, where from like 2008, where they print, you know, an unprecedented $1.9 trillion to bail out the banks in 2008, 2009, to COVID. So that's 10 years. You know, COVID happens, they print $7 trillion. And then after that, there's like a 2-year just mega bull run. The most money ever made in human history. 2 years after, basically those 2 years following 2020. So 2021, 2022. So from like 2008, 2009 to like the start of 2022, that was like a 13 to 14 year market cycle where, like, those impacts are not immediately felt in terms of, you know, saving the economy at first, but over 13 years, that helps add that bedrock to grow the economy to like unprecedented heights. But the bedrock gets less and less stable as you print more and more money, because there's more and more debt that at some point the US has to pay up on. And one day, just like how if you keep incurring debt and keep, you know, getting a shit ton of credit card debt and a shit ton of mortgage debt and a shit ton of auto loan debt. Wow, I just saw some lightning outside. That was a little scary. You keep incurring that debt. One day you end up defaulting. One day you run out of the ability to be like, yeah, I'm going to pay that back, because your word is nothing. Your word is no longer your bond. So yeah. Anyway, let's continue on with some job layoffs. CEO Andy Jassy, or Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, confirms companies will cut over 18,000 jobs, more than initially planned. Most of these are coming from their people experience and technology groups. So I think like their user interface and their consumer electronics companies. So like the Amazon Fire tablets and their Echoes and shit. Like these are now mature product categories, and I don't think, like, how much innovation are you really going to get out of a smart speaker, Adrian?
A smart speaker?
Yeah, like an Amazon Echo. You know, like how much like can they really further improve that's like conducive to their profits, do you think? If at all?
Only thing I can really think of is like further development of AI, but I mean, like, but that's inevitable.
Well, and that's not Amazon's focus, I don't think.
Exactly, and that's not Amazon's focus. That's something that Amazon will just like, they'll just buy the technology one day. Like when a voice AI is like high quality, they'll just buy the technology and implement it into their Echoes. There's not really that much like growth, like or further development of the product.
Yeah, well, and that's what's interesting with the Amazon layoffs specifically. They're not really, I mean, they're saying that they added workers too quickly in warehouses as consumers shifted to online ordering. But like, generally speaking, they're not going to be laying off most warehouse workers. Like they're not going to be so Amazon's not going to be laying off drivers. They're not going to be laying off people who actually like package the shit and ship it out to people. They're mostly going to be laying off people that worked in the physical Amazon stores, and then like their books division, which I don't think they were not big cash flow machines for Amazon.
No, yeah, what's it called? The warehouses are not going to slow that down, because it's not even like they have a large amount of people that stay at the company long enough.
Yeah.
They'll just if they want to slow down the amount of people working there, they'll literally just put less hiring ads up.
Yeah, I think they have an insane turnover rate.
It's a 2-month turnover right now.
Really? A 2-month turnover rate for Amazon? That's crazy. That's
for the
absurd.
warehouse. That's for the warehouses. That's for the warehouses. That's for the people who work in the warehouses and are the drivers.
Okay.
it's probably different if you work at the actual places. It's just because those two jobs have insanely brutal conditions.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, it sucks because they said I think they were only going to be laying off like 10,000 people, and now they're actually laying off 18,000. So, you know, again, it sucks that it happens, but also like that's a contraction period for you. But you know what was not a contraction period, Adrian?
What?
In 2022, Ford says the F-Series pickup continued its decades-long dominance in 2022. So the Ford F-150 is the most sold vehicle in the United States, and they on average sold one Ford F-Series truck every 49 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the F1,
they went heavy.
The F-Series is godly. They literally said, "Fuck all the other cars we make. We're making the fucking truck now."
I mean, like the thing is, the F-150, man, it's just like great. Like it's so ubiquitous with America. And that F-150 Lightning, not to be, you know, a Joe Brandon sympathizer, but dude, he's looking awfully American in that pickup truck.
Dude, my dad, what's it called? My dad's already taught. My dad's like looking into selling his Tesla to get the F-150 Lightning.
Really? I mean, dude, it is pretty based. It is a pretty solid EV. I'm definitely more of a Cybertruck man myself. I think that is the most beautiful car ever made.
Dylan, did you sign up for the pre-order?
Hell no! Are you kidding me, dude? I haven't even.
It's $100.
Yeah, dude. Why would I? Dude, I'm Adrian. I'm gonna drive I am driving Claudius probably well into like the 2030s.
Dylan's gonna drive that junk.
Yeah, Dylan. But do you ever think about how you're gonna get the lifetime blue check mark though?
That's fair. Maybe.
It's really, if you actually think about it, it kind of isn't. Like, if you pay $100, you get it and you get the check mark for the rest of your life versus $8 a month.
Let me pull a Jen Psaki. I'll pay off Claudius and then I'll circle back to you with this. How's that? Continuing on with car news, GM reclaims the title as America's top automaker after a 2.5% jump in sales last year. General Motors reclaimed its U.S. sales from Toyota Motor. GM said it had sold 2.27 million vehicles in the United States in 2022, up over 2.5% from 2021. Toyota said it sold 2.1 million vehicles in the United States last year, down 9.6% from 2021. Adrian and Bo, how are you guys feeling about an American domestic automaker taking back the crown from a Japanese automaker?
Sad. I'm a JDM fanboy.
You know what?
I'm a JDM. I am very much a JDM fanboy as well. But I feel like that's something to be proud of. I mean, like, I don't know. Just as an American, I feel like.
But what's your favorite GM car?
2007 Subaru WRX STI.
A GM car? Like a Japanese vehicle, 25% owned by Toyota Motor Corporation?
Subaru's
Japanese.
Yeah, Subaru's Japanese.
He said American. I thought you said
he said American? Oh, I thought he said JDM.
No, I said his favorite GM car.
Oh, GM. I thought you said JDM. GM car?
Yeah.
I mean, my 2007 Ford Focus is pretty snazzy.
Word.
As like a starter car for like a teenager that just like goes to work and doesn't do much, like, you know, doesn't do much else. It's pretty chilling.
Fair. I see. Like, I own a Toyota. Dude, Japanese cars, man. The Japanese know how to build a damn good combustible engine, dude. They are so
for real.
They are so good. It's like, it's not even fair. It's just not even fair how and obviously, like, yeah, I think it's cool that there's like a domestic automaker that won in America, but like I think Japanese cars are typically better than American cars.
Yeah. I think it's just because they have
or they're more reliable. I'll say that. They're more reliable.
They're more reliable. Well, it's just because they're built for their original purpose was They were built to be cheap and good on gas because of after the war they were so poor.
Fair.
They were being so poor after the war. They needed cars. They're like, we need something that's cheap but reliable. And that's how they came up with that, because like that's how they were able to come in during the oil crisis in 1979 in the 80s and just wipe the floor.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I never even thought of that. That's sweet, dude. Lastly, to cap off this midweek market recap, are you guys familiar with Bonk?
Bog or
Bonk.
Bok?
Bonk. B-O-N-K.
B-O-N-K. Sound familiar.
Well,
I don't think so.
Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, was a major funder in the Solana ecosystem, and after FTX collapsed and everything, melted down with the crypto space, most people thought Solana was dead. But I have a brand new coin for you, Bonk. This was sent to me by a loyal watcher of the Dylan Hoy Experience, Gigameg at Day Trading on Twitter. But I guess this is supposed to be the coin, and like everyone on crypto Twitter is talking about this, that is going to save Solana. So are you familiar with the pump and dump, like the Shiba Inus and the fucking Dogecoins?
Yeah.
Save the kids coin. Ding doink.
Yeah, dude, save the kids coin.
Crypto Zoo?
Crypto Zoo.
They fucking these dudes basically did the exact same thing as like those types of coins did, where they just airdropped like $100 trillion worth of bonk onto people, and within the last 6 days, it has increased 4,308%. So it's up 43x from where it was 6 days ago.
Is it worth the risk? Is it
no,
worth it?
Adrian, it is valued at $364 million.
Dylan, yeah, but is it worth buying it tonight and selling it in the morning?
It's up 200% today. So I don't give out financial advice. Everyone knows that I don't give out financial advice. But here's what I will say.
I will do as a lawyer one day. Go on stream and give legal advice.
Based? Question mark? Based?
I'll get myself sued.
But no, I don't own any bonk.
Or just don't.
And I'm not planning on buying any bonk. But I feel like that's not really a surprise. Anyway, I think that brings us to a natural end for the midweek market recap, Dylan Hoy Experience in general. Gentlemen, Bo or Adrian, do you guys have anything to plug?
My TikTok.
So.
Plug
my
the TikTok.
MF Adrian.
Okay. Word. How about your Doyen?
My Twitter, not Bo _.
Yeah. Let's.
Actually, I want to promote my Twitter because I'm an avid poster now.
Okay, not Bo. So this is Bo Smallman, an icon, if you will. And then also, are we going to be promoting Senor Adrian as well?
Yes.
All right, Senor
I'm an active
_
poster.
Adrian 28. Yeah, he does post some absolute bangers now. No question.
I'm turning into a Felix. I want to become a reply guy.
No, dude, that's the best way to do it. You have to be a reply guy. You have to.
I want to be a reply guy.
Andy.
Oh,
reply
but it sucks.
Andy.
But Twitter Blue fucking ruined being a reply guy though. At the same time.
Hey man, it's all good. Yeah, dude, you're
really like
going to
commenting
be
on
the
Tanner
one
stuff.
that destigmatizes being a reply guy. How's that?
I love
Destigmatizing.
commenting on
Destigmatizing being a
Tanner
reply
stuff.
guy. All right. Well, sorry.
No. Do yourself.
Oh, okay. So at Real Dylan Holy, that's our Twitter. So we often do the key takeaways on there every market trading session, and on top of that, we also do some cheeky little news, like everything I just covered on tonight's midweek market recap. I talked about it like at least 8 to 10 hours ago, if not like a few days ago. So fucking do that. Just go follow me at Real Dylan Holy. Also, this is and I'm gonna be plugging what you guys are currently watching on. But be sure to follow me at Real DMH on Twitch and at Dylan Holy, youtube.com at Dylan Holy on YouTube. Gentlemen, do you have anything else that you need to add tonight?
My
brother just came in and scared the poop out of me.
Well, just lovely. I think I'll call it here. Thank you all for watching the Dylan Holy Experience, and I'll see you next week. Deuces.
Peace.
Sweet.